Have you ever wondered just how different life would be like if the U.S. and the Allied powers lost World War II? That's the premise behind The Man in the High Castle, the Emmy Award-winning series on Amazon Prime Video. I've got two of the stars of that show with us this morning, Luke Kleintake and Alexa Davalos. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
So it's an interesting look at history. I mean, even if we're talking about a what-if situation like we are here. So tell me a little bit about the show and maybe what you've learned.
Oh man, the show is just an insane portrait of reimagined history, which is always, I think, a lot of fun. I think we all do that in our lives. You know, the Allied powers have lost. Where the United States is occupied by the Germans and the Japanese, and there's sort of a Wild West in the Rocky Mountains in the center of the country where, you know, there's a little bit of freedom. It's a little bit reckless. Unmanned territory in a way. We're living in extreme circumstances, you know, under a sort of devastating totalitarian regime. Opposite sides are, you know, potentially going to war. It's not a comedy, put it that way.
Well, who is the man in the High Castle?
That's a wonderful question. Well, the Man in the High Castle is played by Stephen Root, who's absolutely spectacular. But who he is in the show, I don't want to tell, because I don't want to really, that's, I think, the fun of watching, is figuring him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Luke, you play a Nazi agent, maybe a double agent. So whose side are you on here?
Well, I mean,
That's a good question.
That's a great question. I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah, I think, well, he is. I mean, he's a Nazi agent, so he's working for the Nazis. But I think, you know, being sent on this mission, he's trying to really discover what he really believes in. If this is something that he wants to be. So I think he's conflicted. But really, I don't know if he has much of a choice in this kind of world, as you wouldn't, being under that kind of regime, being under that kind of totalitarian power. So,
well, being the fashionista that I am, I can't talk about a period piece like this without talking about the fashion and the costumes and everything that goes along with it. How much fun is that?
Extraordinary. I have to say, Audrey Fisher.
I think it's interesting for a woman more, but it is cool for me too.
No, it's great. I mean,
I think it's great.
Yeah, it's special. Audrey Fisher was our fashion extraordinary. She's an extraordinary human, first of all, but she designed everything for the first season in the most magical way, because it's period. It's you know, the show takes place in 1962, but it's not obviously the 1962 we know, and so everything is just a little bit behind. So it feels a little bit more late 40s, early 50s. And yet completely unique, because obviously this world didn't exist, and so she sort of birthed this extraordinary palette, and yeah, the clothes are amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting because we know what we are taught in school, but this is a different outcome from what actually happened. So you do have a little bit of freedom to create your own version of this character and an version of this world. So where can we see the show?
Yeah, yeah. What, you can see it on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
You know, both seasons, and now across the globe, because now we're in 242 countries, which is completely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon Prime.
All right, thank you guys so much. Best of luck to you and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.